And coming up on DC News Now at 5, abortion bill. How one senator is trying to ban abortions nationwide at 15 weeks. And later, the Philadelphia Eagles are suing the Commanders. The reason why may surprise you, or maybe not.
And we are live in your local Florida Weather Center, tracking some beautiful conditions as we head off into the evening. Is this beautiful weather set to stick around for a while? We'll let you know in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark. Our top story, a move to ban late-term abortions nationwide. DC News Now's Chris Flanagan is here in studio to talk about this new GOP bill. And Chris, this bill was teed up by South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
Mark, it certainly was. Good afternoon. If it passes, the bill would ban all abortions after 15 weeks with only a few exceptions. Senator Graham's proposal quickly came under fire from top Democrats. This all comes after the Supreme Court ruled that Mississippi's 15-week ban was constitutional. Like other bills, Graham's proposal would make exceptions in cases of health emergencies, rape, and incest. However, it also does nothing to overrule states where abortion bans are stricter than what is laid out in Graham's bill. Democratic senators have been outspoken, calling it another attempt to strip reproductive rights from women, as well as having broader effects to health care and beyond. Some Republicans are also questioning this bill, thinking that it may be going too far.
Well, I think every Republican senator running this year in these contested races has an answer as to how they feel about the issue. And it may be different in different states. So I leave it up to our candidates who are quite capable of handling this issue to determine for them what their response is.
Well, the bill proposal comes only 2 months before the midterm elections. Polls have consistently shown that a majority of voters oppose the end of federal abortion protections. In the studio, I'm Chris Flanagan, DC News Now. Mark?
All right, Chris, thank you. A developing story. A teacher at Northwestern High School in Hyattsville, Maryland, tells police a student appeared to have a weapon. That teacher was right. Hyattsville police came to the high school and found a student who had brass knuckles and bullets. 2 other teenagers were involved, according to police, and one of them a student as well. Now, the 2 students face administration action, and the one who was not a student faces charges. Now, the school did not go into lockdown, and there were no reported injuries. Well, President Biden held a major event at the White House today to celebrate the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, which tackles climate change and health care costs. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has more.
Good evening. Democrats and President Biden feel they now have something to sell to voters going into November's election, even though many of these provisions won't take effect for a few years.
This couldn't have happened without every single one of you.
At the White House Tuesday, President Biden celebrated last month's passage of Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act.
With this law, the American people won and special interests lost.
The legislation aims to fight climate change, lower health care costs, and raise taxes on corporations.
The single most important legislation passed in the Congress to combat inflation.
The multi-billion-dollar bill was many months in the making and appeared unlikely to pass with a 50-50 Senate. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says his party delivered.
Democrats are focused on creating jobs, lowering costs, and bringing the country together.
But Republican leader Mitch McConnell says the bill will actually make things worse for Americans.
Democrats' policies are sucker punching American families every time they set foot in the checkout line.
McConnell points to the latest annual inflation rate of 8.3% as proof the IRA is bad for the country.
Just a catastrophically high inflation rate.
And the White House insists that the Inflation Reduction Act won't raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
4 people have sued the Washington Commanders after they fell over a collapsed railing following a game on January of 2020. The plaintiffs are seeking to get at least $75,000 for the physical and emotional injuries they sustained due to the fall. The incident happened after a Commanders loss to the Philadelphia Eagles last season. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts was beginning his walk up to the tunnel when fans who swarmed the area in the hopes of getting a high five overwhelmed the railings, causing it to collapse. The plaintiffs claim the falling over the edge caused cuts, bruises, muscle sprains, and other potential long-term physical and emotional effects. We will keep you updated as this story unfolds here on DC News Now. Meteorologist Damon Madsen joins us now. And Damon, what a difference a day makes. This time yesterday we were concerned about severe weather. Today, a much different story.
Much different story, Mark, indeed. Yeah, we were covering that severe weather, that potential flooding that was ongoing as we watched this cold front cross the region with plenty of storms and some rain also mixed in. Things were very active last night, but now that this front is off just to our east, pushing off of the East Coast, well, all the active weather went with it. If you go north toward the center of this storm system, things are still pretty active in upstate New York. But again, we have just had a clearing sky all day long. Any of that early morning cloud cover broke up now, and we're seeing a lot of sunshine. So that's one big change. The other big change this front has already brought into the region is a massive drop in those dew points. All of that humidity, still a little bit as you go toward the eastern shore, but as you go right through the heart of the DMV and four-state region, the dew points have fallen into the 50s, and it's just been comfortable, feeling great out there. And the other key point here is we are going to continue to see these lower dew points stick around as we move forward over the next several days. High pressure is going to continue to remain locked in place, and that is going to keep drier air in the mix. Notice how there's not a lot of green going on all the way back to the west. We're going to filter in that drier air as we move forward through the rest of today. Wednesday, Thursday, yes, this is expected to be an extended dry stretch and very comfortable stretch at that, with warm afternoons, comfortable afternoons, and crisp overnight temperatures as well. So as we move forward here, it looks like the weather is going to be beautiful, but as we go toward the first day of fall, just coming up here in about a week, are we going to keep with some more crisp temperatures, or could we start out the new season on a rather warm note? We'll let you know that and more coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
Okay, Damon, thank you. Today marks exactly 1 year since a 5-year-old girl was killed while riding her bicycle in Northeast D.C. People in the Brookland neighborhood are campaigning for safer streets. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has the story.
David Van Horn left flowers on Monday in memory of 5-year-old Allie Hart, killed at the intersection of 14th and Irving Streets Northeast 1 year ago.
My daughter went to Allie Hart's school, and I can tell you that every parent at that school has been affected by this.
What he saw were cars and buses running stop signs left and right. D.C. police say last year Hart couldn't stop her bicycle and collided with a Royal Cab Transit van. They say the driver started pulling away after coming to a complete stop.
Unfortunately, some of the worst offenders are people who are driving for district agencies or regional agencies like WMATA or the Department of Public Works.
It got the attention of WMATA GM Randy Clark, who replied on Twitter Monday night thanking Van Horn for the videos. We saw a Metro supervisor Tuesday afternoon keeping an eye out.
There are a lot of neighbors and ANCs in that neighborhood who have been calling for more fortified calming measures like raised intersections, bulb outs.
The district has a Vision Zero campaign with the objective of no traffic deaths or serious injuries by 2024. But traffic deaths in D.C. are at a 14-year high, with 40 reported in 2021, and as of Monday, 24 this year.
Political leaders here, for them, it's a hashtag, and it's not something that they've really put the full force of the local government behind to make a reality, and they need to.
That was Daniel Hamburg reporting. Developing now, action against crime and gun violence seems to be working in Prince George's County. DC News Now's Lex Juarez explains why.
Well, county leaders say that the new curfew is working just the first weekend after it went into effect. County Executive Angela also Brooks actually took to Twitter to announce the news. She said, quote, "We are pleased that officers with the Prince George's County Police Department did not have a single interaction with juveniles this weekend as the curfew took effect." Now, if you remember, the curfew was put in place with the goal of curbing crime and gun violence among kids, and it will only be in place for at least the next month. Now, it does only apply to people who are 16 and younger, but parents have a stake in this too. They could face fines if their kids are found breaking the rule. And while we are seeing and that county leaders are saying that this curfew is impacting crime and gun violence amongst kids, we did also have a quiet weekend when it came to homicides as a whole in the county. Prince George's County Police have not put out any official reports of any homicides, and our contributor Larry Calhoun with DC Real-Time News only reported of one. In Prince George's County, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Lex, thank you. Well, Mark David Chapman, the man who killed legendary musician John Lennon, has been denied parole for the 12th time. The Department of Corrections and Community Supervision say that Chapman, now 67 years old, met with the parole board at the end of August. And they say that during the hearing, Chapman said that he was remorseful of his actions having killed Lennon for the notoriety. Now, he also said that he had no complaints whatsoever if he should not be released. Chapman is facing a 20-to-life sentence after shooting Lennon outside of his Manhattan apartment back in 1980. Chapman will not be eligible for another parole hearing until February 2024. Well, new today, train trouble. This Friday, a potential rail workers' strike could leave some commuters stranded. DC News Now's Christy Matino spoke with passengers, and they shared their concerns about a possible work stoppage.
If CSX does not reach an agreement with its workers, it could make it more difficult for commuters in Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland to find a way to work at the end of this week. It could start impacting your commute as soon as this Friday. Now, all of this due to an ongoing labor dispute between CSX Transportation and its labor unions. CSX maintains the Camden and Brunswick lines for MDOT MTA in addition to dispatching MARC trains. So this strike will lead to an immediate suspension of service to those stations. Also impacted by the potential strike, Virginia Railway Express also saying it would immediately suspend all service if that strike happens on Friday. MDOT MTA now telling MARC train Camden Brunswick line passengers to plan for an alternative travel options in the instance of a strike. So that means to consider taking a bus, carpooling, or other train options. It's important to note WMATA will not be impacted by the potential strike. Commuters can also take MTA buses, rideshare options, or carpooling as additional alternatives. And customer Stacy Ferriley says it has her debating going into work at all.
I'll be working from home a little bit more, or I'll be driving down to Shady Grove and taking the metro.
Again, at this point, still unclear if we could see that agreement with CSX, but if it is not implemented by Friday, be sure to plan an alternative way to get to work. In Germantown, Christy Matino, DC News Now.